Hello and welcome to the channel. My name's Mike Walker and today we're on part 4 of producing a chat show. The first part was about lighting, the second about sound, the third was about cameras and the movement, and today we're going to have a look at multi-camera editing, post-production, compiling and editing in Adobe Premiere. After the filming day, the first thing to do is to get all the footage onto my hard drive and identify all the good takes. And for this, I use a program called Content Browser by Sony, and it identifies all the usable takes from the S/S cards from each camera. Also, the Sony PMW-350, which is camera 1, has got the added advantage of being able to put essence marks onto the clips as well. So because camera 1 does most of the work and gets most of the takes and does the sound and everything else, it is good for it to have that feature, to be able to press a button on camera and say this take is a good one. So if we look at the program here, we can see that these are all the takes from the day. They're all there, every single one of them, from all 3 cameras. Most of the takes are from camera 1, as you can see, and when we get to the bottom, we can see camera 3, and let's have a look at a take. You'll notice that the essence mark that goes on from camera 1, we've got a tick on those clips, so it's easy to see which ones are good takes, which is brilliant. So that's a good take there. Let's just have a look at that one.
Okay, rolling, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by Lisa McHugh, who will sing a song and join us on the sofa for a chat.
So that's great, we know that's a good take. Let's have a look at a bad one.
Rolling, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back.
And there we go. And then, as I say, down at the bottom, we've got the other 2 cameras. Camera 2 shots start there and finish there. So we've got about, a dozen camera 2 clips, about the same for camera 3. All the camera 3 clips are the wide shots, particularly of the interviews, which we can see there. We can then go to Premiere and then do the multi-camera, use a multi-camera feature, which I'm going to show you later on in this episode. Okay, so all the good takes are put into a folder, which goes into a project folder, and the project folder contains everything we need. So if we look at the folder here, we've got on my video drive, there's the folder there. This one's called A Little Bit of Ireland Episode 4, and then inside the folder we've got everything we need. We've got the footage in there, all the clips, all the good takes we got from using Content Browser, identified all the good takes from camera 1, plus all the takes from camera 2 and 3. We know we're going to be using all of those. And then we've got the graphics in this folder here, and that contains things like the broadcast countdown clock, which the broadcaster needs to identify the program and the way the program's been filmed, particularly the format really, and also the audio levels. Minus 6 dB is the audio level for this particular broadcaster. They insisted on -6. They are different, so but you can easily find out what they are. You can look online and there's details about what their requirements are. And then also we got 3 graphics in here. I've got the opening title graphics, which I used to use for opening the titles by putting the thumbnail here of the guests of the night, of the day, or the guests of the show. They used to go in there, and then at the end I used to use the same graphic again with the music and the titles rolling on this right hand side. So that served as both the intro and the outro graphic for me, with modification, so that was like the template. And then the other one would be the going to a break, so we've got back soon, and there's the back soon graphic, which is an 8-second sting. And then similarly with the welcome back, we've got a welcome back graphic there, and they were just put into position before and after the commercials. But yeah, that's that. So back soon and welcome back graphics in the opening and the closing title sequence as well. I also used to use the opening sequence graphic as a lower third by condensing it. I used to condense it, put the title over the top, and it ran as a graphic as well. It looked really nice. Okay, and then going back to the project folder. Inside that we've also got a music folder. So in the music folder, sometimes I might need applause on its own for a guest. So I've got the applause which I could put in. That was a stereo applause. I actually filmed on episode 1 when we had a studio audience of about 12 people, and I just filmed the applause sequence, I don't know, 8 or 9 times, and then in post-production I laid it up into a fairly decent studio audience applause, and that worked quite well, and we used it from start to finish, so it did quite a good job. But there it was in that folder. I've got an 8-second sting, but mostly I'd use any stings I'd use with a graphic. So, but if I ever needed them without the graphic, they were there in the audio folder, so it was useful to have that. So let's have a look at Premiere. We're going to open Premiere up, and we're going to do the Lisa McHugh interview using the multi-camera feature in Premiere. As you can see, we've got the 3 bins open. I've imported from the hard drive, as you can see there on my hard drive V. We've got a little bit of Ireland episode 4 folder there. If I open that up, we've got the folders we looked at on the desktop, and you can see footage, graphics and music. Well, I've imported all those 3 folders just as they are straight into the project, and we've got the music there, we've got the graphics there, and the clips that we're going to use there. So I'm just going to show you how I would start to edit the program. It's quite important to make sure the sequence is at the right format. So for that, the first thing I do is put on a clip from the camera. So just any old clip, just put it on the timeline there, and that sets up the sequence. If you go to sequence settings at the top, you'll see that we've got a 25 frame sequence. The editing mode there is Sony XD cam, which is the cameras that we've shot this whole program on. So remove that clip now, now that we've got the project that we want it. Now when we put from Premiere, when you put on any other clip, it will just merge and conform to whatever you set the sequence to. So that job is then done. So graphics, go back to where we were and open the opening sequence. We'll put that on the timeline. So I'm just going to use because I know the music's not correct on this opening sequence, so I'm just going to unlink and delete the audio track. All I want at this point is these opening titles graphic, which is this thing here, and that is a jump graphic that I bought way back in, I don't know, 2005 or somewhere, and I used that for the whole theme of A Little Bit of Ireland. So all the graphics, as you saw before, the welcome back and back soon graphics are all with this background. And the titles were done in Premiere, probably on CS5 or 6, I can't just remember, and I just put the title over the jump graphic. Let's get some music on the opening title graphic. So if we open the music folder, where we're going to use the opening music, which is the same length as the graphic. So I'm going to play the graphic now with that audio track. So that's what it sounds like. And what I used to do was put whoever the guest was, or the guests were on the show, I'd put them in the top left hand corner to give the show its own identity. This is episode 4, I think there was 4 or 5 guests on, and to do that all I did was, let me quickly show you how I did that. Go back into the clips folder and we'd get the guests. I'll just use one to show as an example. There's Lisa McHugh. If we just get some of her, there we are, that's a nice shot there. I'm going to right click, unlink, delete the audio track and bring this somewhere over the graphic. I would then go into effects controls, highlight that clip, and we're going to scale it down. Let's put the cursor over the top so we can see what we're doing. Scale it down, probably about that size, move it across to the left, and then up a little bit there, somewhere around there, maybe a little bit like that. And then I'd put a crop filter, drop the crop filter over the top of the clip, and I would use the edge feather, just come in a little bit on each side. So let's say we did 10 or 11% on each edge of the clip, something like this. And then using the edge feather, you can see how that, if we go this way, it has a really nice effect and just lets the top clip shine through over the bottom clip. That is probably a little bit too much, so something like that looks nice there, so we can see a nice clear guest picture, and that's going to look nice as the graphic goes through. It's going to go behind the picture, so that's quite nice. And that's how I used to do the opening titles. Bring that to the end so it matches the length. But I would put obviously a shot of each guest in there. What's missing is a bit of applause at the end, but what I'll do first is Richard's first piece to camera on the timeline, and to do that I'm going to drag it from there. I know it's clip number 35, which is the opening. If we play this, there we can see he starts talking there, so I'm going to cut there, use the C on the keyboard and then hit the V on the keyboard. That'll take you back to the tool, and then delete that, highlight and delete. Let's unlink this clip and let's delete the 3 tracks, the 3 audio tracks that we don't need. There's only one audio track we need for this, and that's Richard's channel 1, which is his mic audio. And then I'd relink it again, because if you move one of the clips, it'll keep the audio and the video together, so I'd link that. So if we move it now, it's going to stay together. Using the minus key to come out, and then pop that into the intro music graphic clip. I would also put a dissolve in that clip there, so when that comes to its end, it's going to dissolve out like that and then cut to Richard. What's missing there is some audio, some applause, so let's get some applause in there, and we'll put that onto this track here. And I want the applause to finish after Richard's been introduced on the programme, so we'd have that starting around about the end of the music. Again, I'd put a dissolve beginning and end on there, so it's Control Shift D will give us a dissolve. That's a default dissolve. Move it to the end there like that. So we're going to have towards the end of the clip music, we're going to have the clip playing with the graphic, and then the applause is going to start before the end of the music. Then it's going to link the whole thing together, and then Richard comes in with his opening piece to camera, and then the audience applause dies down. So then at the end of this clip, we'd have an introduction to the music. So a music video from one of the guests, or it could be something we'd filmed in the studio. Okay, so now we need to edit the music or the interview. They're both done in the same way, so let's pick the interview. I've opened up a new sequence, so and called it Lisa Interview. I'm now going to find the 3 camera clips, starting with camera 1. I'm going to pop that onto the sequence, and you'll notice there's 4 audio tracks, which there is on camera 1. So I don't need the last 2, so I'm going to delete. Well, first of all, I'm going to right click on the clip and unlink. I'm then going to delete tracks 3 and 4 and just leave tracks 1 and 2. I know that Richard's mic is on track 1 and Lisa's mic is on track 2. The levels look a bit low on Lisa's mic. I'm going to have a look at that now. Let's just get in there a little bit more. Let's have a listen to that.
At that age I hated country music, but the older I got, the more I grew to love it. And when I started singing the country music, then I wouldn't turn back now.
Now, over the last couple...
Yeah, Richard's a lot louder than Lisa, so I'm going to unlink again, because I just want to deal with this track, and I'm going to increase the gain by 4 dB to start with.
Sure.
Yeah.
At that age.
And what?
That sounds a bit better. That looks a bit more even now. So happy with that, and let me carry on. I'm going to relink again. I broke the link to do that, so I'm going to relink again in case I move the clip. And then I'm going to go to camera 2, and put that on the timeline. I'm not putting these in sync, I'm just putting them on the timeline somewhere thereabouts, and I'm going to get the program to sync these together. So there we go with camera 3. So that's what we need. I'm going to then select all the clips. I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to Synchronize, and I'm going to synchronize through audio. So synchronize there, and we're synchronizing. Now you can see how it's moved those clips around very slightly to put them in sync.
I took music as a subject in school, and we done the different concerts and got.
Now that I know that's in sync, I am going to lose these 2 audio tracks. So I'm going to unlink the whole thing, and I'm going to select those 2 tracks and delete them.
The older I got, I made my first CD.
Just leaving us nice clean audio of Richard's mic and Lisa's mic. And then I'm going to go and link them again, and I am going to right click once more, and I am going to nest the sequence. I'm going to call it Lisa Interview, and now you'll see it's come up as a green block. So the next thing to do is right click again and multi-camera enable, and then go to the monitor and click the multi viewer on the monitor. If you can't see it, just press the plus button and it will be in there somewhere, and you'll be able to drag that down onto your toolbar. But mine's already there, so that's what it looks like. You click on that and it will give you everything you need. At this point I'd usually just make a little bit more room so we can see the monitors a bit better, so I'll make them a bit bigger. So on the left hand side we've got the cameras. We've got 3 cameras there. We've got camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, and on the right hand side we've got the output monitor, so that will give you whatever you've picked on this side. You can pick the cameras from 2 different ways, either on the keyboard 1, 2, 3, or you can pick the cameras with a mouse, which is what I tend to do, and you can pick them also here, but that's a bit awkward because you'd have to use your mouse and go inside this right hand menu, which is a bit awkward. So the best way to do it is the 1, 2, 3 on the keyboard or the mouse. I prefer the mouse because I'm there and it's nice and easy, so that's the way I'm going to do this one. And I'm going to press the space bar to start. I'm going to start with camera 3.
Hello, Richard.
So there we go, it starts recording. We're recording the output now, and as soon as she sits down I'm going to pick the...
Lisa
Thank
McHugh.
you very much for having
There's a
me.
second
You're
camera.
very, very welcome indeed. Lisa, you're from Scotland originally.
I am, yes.
Whereabouts in Scotland?
I was originally born in Glasgow.
Glasgow.
Yes. Yeah.
And what brought you to Ireland? Because you've been to Ireland quite a few times, haven't you?
Yes, my
Do you
mum and
have
dad.
relations?
Yeah, they're both Irish.
So I'm
My
just
dad was
picking
born in Castle
as they
Tyrone,
speak for the moment.
and my mum was born in Falkirk and Donegal.
When camera
so
3 starts to
since I was
move,
about
I'll probably
12,
use a little
I've
bit
been
of
back
that.
all the time, and
What age did you get the singing bug?
I can't even remember. I think I was standing on the kitchen table at the age of maybe 2 or 3 singing.
Okay, and you always
singing
had a bit of a
songs.
singing voice?
Yeah, yeah.
Now tell me, over the years then, did you do some competitions or did you do some charity functions to get some experience? How does that work?
Yeah, well, I started obviously singing at Christmas parties and things when we were younger. My dad used to always have Christmas parties. And
Was this in Glasgow?
in Glasgow, yes.
Okay.
And then obviously through school, I kind of went into
Right, camera 3 is moving, which make a nice little moving in
we
shot.
done the different concerts and got ourselves a little band, and
Okay.
kind of I was
Bit of
just
a wobble there.
building my confidence at that age. And then the older I got, I made my first CD for my
Right,
16th
yeah.
birthday.
16.
16th birthday, we made
Right.
my first CD.
Yeah. What was the title of that?
That was called Teardrops. No, that was the first one. The very first one was called Show Me Heaven.
Show Me Heaven.
Show Me Heaven. At the start, I wasn't really into country.
Right, so we've got a mistake there, so we can edit that mistake out. Let's correct that because she couldn't remember the title of her first album, so let's fix that.
Go on. we done the different cons.
So I'm just going back now. I'm going to play back the what we've just recorded.
That was called Teardrops. No, that was the.
So that wasn't called Teardrops. So we were on camera 2 there.
That's called.
I think what I'd do there is extend Richards, and you can actually, if you want, you can delete. If I delete that and extend it, we'll just get the second camera cut, extended.
16. Right.
And I would put camera 2 shot there, back to camera 1 there, and then I'm gonna cut the whole thing from here where the mistake is. So pressing C on the keyboard, Shift, and cutting across the whole thing, and then we'll bring it back in when she remembers the name of the album.
That was called Teardrops. No, that was the first one. The very first one was called Show Me Heaven.
Show Me Heaven.
Show Me. Very first one was called Show Me.
After the and let's get the sh sound. So that section there, if I'm just coming out with the minus key to show you the affected area, all that's coming out, which is the hesitant bit, and then we can ripple delete that with the mouse using the right shortcut again, ripple delete, and that'll bring those back together. And then we just make sure we go back to camera 2 after camera 1, and that should be quite fluid now. Let's have a look.
Building my confidence at that age, and then the older I got, I made my first CD for my 16th birthday. 16th birthday, we made my first CD.
Yeah. What was the title of that?
Show Me Heaven.
Show Me Heaven.
Show Me Heaven. At the start, I wasn't really into country
There we
music.
are.
Yeah, because Show Me Heaven is slightly away from the countries.
Mixture.
Yeah.
At that age.
And at what time did you decide that country music was for you?
Well, I'd always grown up with country music when we were in the car going to Ireland.
The parents would have the old discs.
They'd have Daniel and all the likes on, and at that age I hated country music.
Another
but
moving
the older
shot
I got, the more I
that.
grew to love it,
Yeah.
and when I started singing the country music, then I wouldn't turn back now.
Now, over the last couple of years particularly, you've had some great successes, haven't you?
I have, yes.
Now, you've been on TG4, Cultira.
Yes.
Now, tell us a bit about that experience.
I actually was on Gorchid and I had a fantastic experience. I was singing.
That's fine. So that gives you an idea of how the process works. Okay, so now I have completed the edit of the Lisa interview, and let me just put the screen so you can see. We finished about, done the rest of it, so it's all ready to go. The main edit sequence is here, where we started before.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host, Richard O'Brien.
So we've got the draws there into Richard's first piece to camera, and then we know we're going to put the Lisa interview in after this. So all I do is get the Lisa interview, drag it, and I can drag that onto the timeline, and then just edit the starts. I want it to start when she sits down, so the vocal there, cut there, delete. You can still edit the bits of the sequence as a multi-camera, it doesn't matter, it's still editable if you like, but you can then go inside and edit any finer points inside. If you want to change a cut, you can go back into the sequence and change it, and it will automatically update in the main sequence, which is brilliant. So there we are. The levels look a bit low. I'm just going to increase those. That's better. So now we've got from into
international recording star Lisa
McHugh.
Welcome, Lisa
Thank you
McHugh.
very much for having me.
You're very,
So
very
then it
welcome.
starts, and so on and so forth, and we go to,
Derek and Tyrone,
Okay.
and my mum.
and we get to the end, and that's all done. So we sort out what's going to happen after the interview. We can use the arrow keys there. If you go down one, it goes to the end of the sequence, and so that's the end of the interview there.
Thank you.
So that's where the applause would start. There's no studio audience, so there's not going to be any applause. So we'll put our own applause in, and we'll probably go to a break there, which we'd have as back zone. So we'd go to back zone, we'd have some applause going in there at the end of the interview. Where are we? There it is, just before the break. So then at the end,
maybe a bit later on we'll have you on as a guest again.
Thank you very
Lisa
much.
McHugh, thank you very much for joining me, and good luck with your career.
Thanks very much, Richard. Thank
you.
okay, that's it. Thanks for staying with us. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's been a bit long, but thanks for staying with us. And if you want to catch up on the previous episodes 1, 2 and 3, they're in the description below. Just click on the link and just have a look at those if you haven't seen them already. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hit the notification bell and I'll let you know when the next video is coming out. So on that note, thank you very much, and I really appreciate you watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.